Hello everyone, I'm Anupriya Tuli, a PhD candidate at IIIT Delhi, India. Today, on behalf of my team, Surbhi Singh, Rikita Narula, Neha Kumar and Pushpendra Singh, I am presenting our work on rethinking menstrual trackers towards period-positive ecologies. According to the great German philosopher Immanuel Kant, all persons, regardless of rank or social class, have an equal intrinsic worth or human dignity, which is an innate worth or status that we did not earn and cannot forfeit. However, menstrual hygiene and management advocates across the globe assert on focusing on the safe management of menstruation to avoid shame, embarrassment, and loss of menstrual dignity. Here, menstrual dignity means menstruators do not have to compromise their basic human rights on the pretext of menstruation. The question arises, if menstruation is normal and healthy, why must it be managed to ensure dignity? It is this social construction of menstrual dignity that views the menstruating body as a site of reform that needs to be controlled. The HCI literature has critiqued the design of current menstrual tracking technologies for reenacting androcentric ideals by focusing on providing solutions to the same long-standing problem of uncontrolled female body. In this work, we take a stance against the social construction of menstrual dignity by revisiting the purpose of menstrual trackers from being a tool to control the body to a tool to challenge unjust social structures by promoting a shift towards period-positive ecologies. We situate our work in the urban settings of Delhi, India, where menstruation has historically been a conversational taboo, resulting in negative period experiences, low self-esteem, and fear of embarrassment among menstruators. Our research investigates how do menstruators engage in menstrual tracking at different points along their menstrual journeys. What factors affect these choices? Do these tracking practices evolve as menstruators transition from menarche to menopause, making different life choices? And finally, what are the experiences with and aspirations from digital menstrual trackers? To answer these questions, we take a long view of menstrual journey by engaging with menstruating women between the age of 12 and 65 years. We began by conducting a preliminary survey to develop a basic understanding of prevalent menstrual tracking practices in our study context. Corroborating insights from the survey and existing literature informed our overall study design. Next, we conducted detailed surveys with adolescents and adults at scale and concurrently reviewed available menstrual tracking apps to curate a set of functional features that were later used in remote interviews as probes. The features included fertility tracking mode, symptom logging, parental control, reminder, notifications, forums, etc. Given we were conducting remote interviews on a taboo subject, these functional features served as a starting point for discussion while offering a vocabulary to our participants. Additionally, to understand how adolescents menstruators practice, visualize, and relate to menstrual tracking, we conducted a cultural probe investigation where we used an in-house designed period journal as the probe. The data was collected in both Hindi and English in form of 457 survey responses, field notes, photographs, and more than 19 hours of audio interview recordings. The qualitative data was analyzed using inductive thematic analysis and rest by calculating percentages and cross-tabulation. The data collected through different methods was analyzed using triangulation convergence model to outline our findings that are structured in 4 themes, namely, tracking through the menstrual journey, where we unpack evolving association with the menstrual tracking throughout the menstrual journey, which is then followed by discussing the innovative methods menstruators leverage to track and interpret their cycles. Next, we unpack the relationships that influence and shape a menstruator's association with their body, and menstrual tracking practices throughout the menstrual journey. Finally, our last theme represents aspirations of digital menstrual trackers that emerged in our data as participants discuss their experiences with available digital trackers. Due to time limitations, we will briefly present the first theme. We observed that menstruators during adolescence viewed tracking as unimportant and did not take their period seriously. While reflecting on their menstrual journey, majority of the adult menstruators acknowledge that tracking should be practiced since menarche. However, in practice, the adult menstruators adopted formal tracking if they have a specific reason, like a medical diagnosis, cycle irregularity, embarrassing experiences, like that of stain stigma, or once they are sexually active. Jasmine, one of our participants, shared, except for pregnancy, I don't think there is any value in tracking. In the sense of pregnancy, I mean those who want to conceive and those who do not want to conceive. That is the only reason, else I don't see any logic for it. It is normal, it is going to happen, and your body will alarm you definitely. We also observe that menstrual tracking has a deeper value and meaning in our context. It is seen as means to an end, where the end is more than just menstrual well-being. Some menstruators use it as a guide to be period prepared to avoid stain stigma, as evident in the shared quote. While some track to feel more empowered in making decisions about their bodies and life, while coexisting with the prevalent cultural stigma. For instance, we observed that unmarried menstruators relied on menstrual tracking as a natural birth control technique. We observed that the menstrual tracking patterns did not change much with transitioning into menopausal years. 33% of menopausal survey respondents mentioned forgetting to keep track of their cycles, and 16% said that they did not feel the need to track their cycles at all. The ones who tracked their cycle continued with their tried and tested tracking methods and did not track any additional parameters other than the date, given the sporadic nature of periods during menopausal years. We analyzed our findings using Martha Nussbaum's capabilities approach, where she proposes a set of 10 central capabilities as a social minimum for an individual to live a life that is worthy of human dignity, making it a fitting choice for our study. This approach served as an ally to our participants as it made their struggles of navigating life as a menstruators visible in the context with deep-rooted menstrual stigma. We now present a consolidated version of our takeaways from the paper. Our data shows how Menstrual Tracker as a capability building tool called for designing to support menstrual journey instead of designing trackers for a specific transition like menarche, fertility, and menopause in isolation. Taking this approach will entail designing for the subjectivity at multiple layers throughout the journey while accounting for messy and diverse association with menstrual tracking. Thus, we propose that the design should empower menstruators to first design and later tailor their trackers through their menstrual journey in accordance with where they are in their journey, experience with the menstruation, and life choices. Facilitating self-designing will offer a new site for intervention, that is the process of designing, assembling, and tailoring itself. For instance, the process of engaging the user in designing a tracker for themselves can be structured as a co-designing activity while preserving the agency of the user to include and exclude stakeholders in the vicinity as co-designers of their trackers. In this case, the design process can facilitate conversations on the subject by serving as an icebreaker, offering vocabulary, and an avenue for activism by facilitating positive body association with the one's body and creating bodily awareness of the others. Please consider reading our paper where we present our findings and arguments in much more detail.